Have you seen what's happening in the gold and silver markets? Investors all over the world are watching in disbelief as prices break records, smash through resistance levels, and signal what many are calling a stampede in one of the strongest bull markets of our generation. Gold has soared to new heights, silver is closing in on the legendary $50 level, and the momentum shows no sign of slowing down. But why is this happening right now? What are the forces behind this surge, and where could things go next? In this deep dive, we'll break down the latest analysis and forecasts from experts and market watchers, exploring everything from safe haven demand to industrial growth, from U.S. politics to global currency shifts. By the end, you'll have the full picture of why gold and silver are dominating headlines and what the road ahead may look like. The stampede begins. Kitco's take on the bull market. According to a recent update from Kitco, gold and silver aren't just climbing, they're stampeding. The rally is being compared to a full-force bull market stampede, with investors rushing in and momentum accelerating at a pace rarely seen. Sentiment is extremely bullish, and both metals are not just testing resistance levels but smashing through them. Gold has become the center of safe haven flows, with investors turning to it as a store of value in a time of political and financial uncertainty. Silver, meanwhile, is benefiting from a dual engine, its traditional role as a monetary metal and its modern role in industrial demand. What makes this moment unique is the sense that the rally isn't just a short-lived spike. Instead, it's backed by fundamental drivers that continue to build momentum. Investors are calling this a sustained bull run, one where both gold and silver may have much more room to run. Global ripples, Business Recorder on international and local impact. This record-breaking rally is not only visible in New York or London, it's rippling across the globe. The Business Recorder highlights how international gold prices have soared to record highs, while silver is moving in lockstep, surging to multi-year highs of its own. In Pakistan, the effects are being felt directly. Domestic gold prices are climbing sharply, fueled not only by the global surge, but also by local currency weakness. When a currency loses ground against the dollar, the cost of dollar-priced commodities like gold and silver increases even more for local buyers. The article also emphasizes how silver is gaining traction as investors look to diversify. With gold at record highs, silver becomes an attractive alternative, and its price trajectory is closely shadowing gold's rise. The global rally is feeding into local demand, driving heightened investor interest even among small buyers who are looking for security amid economic uncertainty.
Forecasting the next move, FX Empire's $3,860 gold and $48 silver targets. FX Empire's forecast sets clear near-term goals for the two metals. Analysts are eyeing $3,860 per ounce for gold and $48 per ounce for silver. These aren't random numbers. They're based on a mix of technical and fundamental analysis. The forecast highlights three main drivers. First, political and fiscal risks in the United States are creating demand for safe havens. Any sign of fiscal instability, budget battles, or debt issues pushes investors into assets like gold and silver. Second, the US dollar has been weakening, and because gold and silver are priced in dollars, that makes them cheaper for global buyers, boosting demand. Third, the Federal Reserve is expected to turn dovish. When interest rates fall, the opportunity cost of holding non-yielding assets like gold and silver decreases, which draws in even more investors. Investor flows into safe havens are strong, and these targets are seen as not just possible, but achievable in the short term if current momentum continues. Technical signals, FX Empire on the $4,000 gold target and silver's record highs. A separate FX Empire analysis dives into the charts and technical signals. For gold, the next major milestone is $4,000 per ounce. Analysts note that a decisive break above $3,900 would strengthen the path to that landmark. Silver, meanwhile, is testing resistance near $50 per ounce, with $48 being the critical level to hold. The technical perspective adds an important layer. Momentum indicators show strong upward pressure, but also warn of overbought conditions. In other words, the market is extremely bullish, but sharp corrections are always a possibility when prices move this quickly. However, corrections do not necessarily mean the rally is over. In many bull markets, pullbacks are simply pauses before another leg higher. The overall technical setup suggests that both gold and silver still have the strength to push into uncharted territory. Drivers behind the rally. TS2 Tech identifies the main reasons why gold is breaking records and silver is inching toward $50. At the top of the list are global geopolitical risks, which have investors piling into safe havens. Every time uncertainty rises, whether it's political instability, conflict, or fiscal tensions, gold and silver benefit. Another key factor is industrial demand for silver. Unlike gold, silver is not just a store of value, it's a critical component in modern industries. From green energy technologies like solar panels to high-tech electronics, silver's industrial usage is rising rapidly. This makes its rally not just about investor sentiment, but also about real-world demand growth. Finally, TS2 Tech points to dollar weakness as an amplifier. When the dollar falls, metals become more attractive to international buyers, creating an additional layer of demand. Together, these forces are pushing gold into record territory and bringing silver right to the edge of its historic resistance zone. Putting it all together, shared themes across the reports. When we bring all these sources together, a clear picture emerges. Gold is at record highs, with analysts targeting $3,860 in the short term and $4,000 as the next major milestone. Silver is hovering near $48, with the legendary $50 level acting as both a target and a barrier. The drivers are consistent across the board. U.S. political and fiscal risks creating safe haven demand, a weakening dollar making metals more attractive globally, expectations of Federal Reserve rate cuts supporting non-yielding assets, industrial demand boosting silver's unique dual role, and strong momentum and investor flows feeding the bull market. At the same time, analysts caution about overbought conditions and the possibility of corrections. But corrections are seen as part of a healthy bull market, not a signal of its end. The road ahead, what this means for investors and markets. The key levels to watch are crystal clear. For gold, $3,900 is the breakout zone that could unlock the path to $4,000. For silver, holding above $48 is essential to push toward the historic $50 mark. Breaking and sustaining above these levels could set off another wave of bullish momentum. If silver does break $50, history suggests the move could be explosive. That level has acted as a ceiling in previous decades, and a breakout could open the door to new highs. For gold, reaching $4,000 would mark a symbolic and psychological milestone, reinforcing its role as the ultimate safe haven asset. Both metals are benefiting from a perfect storm of safe haven demand, monetary policy shifts, and industrial growth. And while short-term volatility is likely, the long-term picture painted by analysts across these reports remains strongly bullish. Right now, gold and silver are not just trending, they're leading the global financial conversation. From record highs to bold new forecasts, the metals are commanding attention in a way that hasn't been seen in years. With gold targeting $3,860 and potentially $4,000, and silver testing the critical $48 to $50 zone, the markets are at a pivotal moment. Investors, analysts, and everyday buyers alike are watching closely, as these levels could determine whether the bull market continues its stampede or pauses for breath. One thing is certain, the momentum behind gold and silver is strong, and the story is far from over. Disclaimer. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is based on the latest publicly available reports and expert commentary from the sources mentioned. It does not provide financial advice, investment recommendations, or buy-sell signals. Viewers should always do their own research and consult with licensed professionals before making any financial decisions.